Another one that Warner Brothers kind of showed off that got a lot of people buzzing about, of course, was Suicide Squad. And I know the biggest thing that came out of the Suicide Squad presentation was people talking Joker and stuff like that. Wendy, you got to see the Suicide Squad. First of all, what did they do on the panel? What did they talk about on the panel? And then your reaction to the trailer.
They brought out the whole cast. Everybody was there except for Jared Leto. I don't think.
Jared Leto
was not there.
Except the one that probably everybody wanted to see the most.
Yeah. I was actually really looking forward to Harley Quinn. Everybody loves Harley. And I was thinking, how in the world are they going to portray her? And the first shot of her was her hanging upside down in her jail cell. And I was like, I'm done. That's it. I'm happy. I'm happy. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, a little cool. Cirque du Soleil.
It was nice seeing the entire cast walk on stage, and I didn't think, or I wasn't sure if Will Smith would show up or not, but he did, and he got on the mic just for a second to thank everybody. He's like, "Hey," no, it was like they painted it like the cast flew in that morning, and then as soon as they're leaving the stage, they're getting back on a plane, going back to Canada to finish shooting this thing, hopefully with less fan cell phones around. But even director David Ayer mentioned that he actually joked about that too. He came out and gave like this huge pump up pep talk about, hey, are you guys ready? Well, it's time. We're done with superheroes. It's time to get bad. And the crowd was going crazy. And then he's like, he said something about Marvel and how he said he didn't want to do an East Coast, West Coast thing, but but he just inferred that these are the movies that fans really want to see. And so he started some beef. And I like that. I don't think, I'm not going to take that and run. Oh my God, did you hear this? It was a fun thing to do, an isolated event in Hall H. And then the trailer comes on. And the trailer totally locked me into this movie. It gave me such a nice insight into what they're doing, where it's this agency is going to try to get these villains. They're going to try to get bad people to go after even worse people, because if these people they recruit for these missions mess up, they're villains. That's what they're supposed to do. You know, it's like, it's not our fault. They're bad guys. So this movie looks incredible. It almost superseded what I saw with Batman v Superman. I'm such a huge Batman fan that, of course, I want to see that stuff on stage. And even got a quick glimpse. They mentioned Superman in this trailer, and you got to see that shot that we all saw, like the iPhone coverage of the leak stuff. You got to see Batman on top of what appears to be Joker's car and Harley Quinn in the passenger seat. So they're going to play some sort of role in this, but the villains are the star of this movie, and I'm ecstatic about it.
David Ayer came out and he pulled a Suge Knight. He basically called out Marvel. It was a West Coast, East Coast thing, because he was basically saying DC has the better villains. He's like, I have to say it. I got to speak the truth. And he was, he's swearing. So that was the whole big thing with him. And then we got to see the Joker at the very end of the trailer. And I kind of rewatched some footage online. I had already seen it in Hall H. And he reminded me actually of Robert De Niro's character in Cape Fear.
Cape Fear, I was going to say that.
Yeah, he had that kind of mannerism to him. So, and his voice was kind of a mix between Mark Hamill's Joker and Heath Ledger's. I'm super excited. I know some people are hating this new Joker. I really like it.
Yeah, I got to say, when I saw, that's exactly what I thought, the Cape Fear thing, and I thought about, it sounds like a mix between Heath Ledger and Mark Hamill. I mean, but when he says that line, I mean, first of all, it's the perfect line. Oh, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you really, really bad. I mean, that's Joker. And that's awesome. And then the look on his face as he's talking about that. And look, Ayer's not wrong. Marvel, I love most of the Marvel films. I love most of them. But where they usually have a little bit of a deficit is in their villains. Loki aside, I mean, and I'm sure, who's the Gauntlet? Who's going to have the Gauntlet? Thanos. I'm sure Thanos is going to end up being a great villain, but there's nothing to be excited about him yet. We've just seen him sitting there and smiling a couple of times, make one or two lines. I mean, so up until this point, we really haven't seen it. DC does have themselves positioned here to really corner the market on having great villains. And I like what we saw from Joker. I understand what we saw is not enough probably to change the minds of people who have been hating on it yet. So let's wait to see a little bit more. For me, I really dug what I saw, and I like the trailer.